Ah, why, hello there. It's been a little bit, but we're jumping right into it. This is, of course, as always, making Escape Velocity. We're still in the middle of this giant refactoring effort here. We're getting close. We're getting close to being done with at least this round of it. Heaven knows there will be more in the future, but the mess is kind of confined right now to this graphics layer, um, the input a little bit, and this string file. The string file. Oh Lord, how I hate strings in C. how how we've complicated the world. But anyway, if you'd like to join me on this morning's little fun adventure, all you need for that is your drink of caffeine. Mine is matcha latte, not sponsored, and have your first sip of the day. Okay. So the last couple days I did a bunch of refactoring off stream. Refactoring in this case is mostly just deleting stuff that's not my code, which is I think usually how refactoring works. And let's see. So that is going to be wrong. We're never calling that. So I think what we want to do is because I think the game should in like the window. So if we look in the window, we want to resize, right? We moved away the some of the logic out of the Win32 message loop for handling, at least full screen. Previously, it was implemented right here at like the bottom of the message loop, so it's happening like at the top of OS update basically. And that is it's just like kind of a weird spot for it, because we did not really want Win32 having ownership of the window size state. It has to like drill down into there at some point, but we didn't really want it in this spot. And there's because basically we want this part to be as thin as possible, because this is like this whole mess here, this entire file is what we are going to be ripping out when we switch over to Mac and X11 and Wayland, all this other crap. So we don't want it there. We simply just do not want it to live there. So what we need to do is, we moved it to graphics. We created like a graphics level resize. So it should be it should be that the game is calling this, right? The game is calling these graphics APIs. But what we need to do is, like, this resize needs to happen at a certain point during the frame, right? This is like the problem here. When we and let's see, we should probably, this I think calls a resize. It should call this resize, right? I suppose. Um, but so this resize should happen like pretty close to the when we do a graphics update, right? If you think about it, like the last thing you want to do is because it's an incredibly expensive operation. Um, Not only because the whole window gets blown up and redrawn, but it's also we have to go and change the memory layout on um, the whole direct 3D layer of like how of our whole um, canvas, right? Because the resolution's going to change, the aspect ratio may change, all these things. So it's going to be entirely different looking, and so all of that should be happening, you know, at a very specific part of the frame. As far as I'm concerned, and it probably needs to happen before OS update. I think it needs to I think it should be happening like at the very bottom, like after GFX update. I think we would need to I think we need some sort of flag to tell it that it should be changing, right? This is just like a really stupid way, but it will work. We should do a should resize, right? And this is like our should close, except we have to reset it. But it's basically our flag that is saying, I'll keep all those together. It's our flag that's saying that like this loop, go do this, and then we will unset it. So it might even it probably even should be in here. Now, should it happen before or after the render? I don't know, because like the window stuff doesn't really matter for that, but the actual resize, like this part would probably break, right? Because what is happening? We're like releasing the render target. Yeah, we are like releasing, and we have to basically reconstruct everything. We have to reconstruct the RTV, back buffer, reset C buffer. So I think this should be happening before we actually try to draw stuff. Is we need to do this check right here. So if mem dot window should resize, then resize, and then we unset the flag, right? Easy peasy. Once again, no forward declare has struck. No forward declare has once again made my life more annoying. All right. So does that make sense? Does that make sense to everybody? I feel like Casey right now, the way I'm talking, but whatever. Yeah, and so then we just need to, whenever we do resize, and we don't have to like plumb this out in a super sophisticated way, but if we just do this, should resize equals true, right? Now, this won't compile, but because we have a number of other things that I've broken, but like I think that is like pretty sane there. Moved should resize out to a flag at right before render. Okay, looks good to me. Looks good to me indeed. All right. So the next thing I wanted to do today is, I wanted to continue cleaning up this graphics layer. We've just done so, which is good. Because and this actually might make us need to jump back to a different bit of code moving around. But what I wanted to do was to understand a little bit better the this graphics image setting thing, because this is like the whole big piece that we really needed to change to get to convert our current way of just binding individual textures and switching between them for every entity, basically for every sprite entity, which is super slow and not very uh not the greatest. Because if you don't know, like, that's the most expensive call, is or like probably the most expensive call we have right now with our limited like geometry we're trying to render, is just like sending the texture over the wire back and forth to the GPU, the one that we want to use. Um, so we want to be doing two things. We want to convert this to ultimately to a sprite atlas or texture array, which are both D3, D11 constructs we can use to basically just keep everything in one file. All of our textures, it's like a sprite sheet, right? And we're just sampling from pieces of it. But I also want us to understand the image like loading into memory portion of it. We were using Sean Barrett's image header, which I think I don't have cloned anymore. Let's see. Slash stb slash nothings. Nope. There we go. Nothing slash stb, of course. But basically what this is a bunch of single file header only C, C++ libs to just do really annoying stuff. And so the one we were using was stb image, which is an image loading into memory lib here, right? And I think, we will probably pull this back in. I just got rid of it just to understand the problem. But like the reason why we would use this. Oh, wait, what? Oh, fucking Windows. The reason why we would use this is, we have our editor here as ASprite, and it is outputting PNGs, and probably whatever tool we use is going to output PNGs. And as much as I would love to, read the PNG standard and go implement that, I don't know. That kind of seems like maybe a rat hole too far. It's possible. Cause just like how many like fields there are that I don't get. Like, it actually would not be a like useless thing to understand. Excuse me. Just gonna plumb my nose. Sorry if that was really gross there. Be right back. Yeah, but like, I think it actually would be really interesting to see, top down how an image encoding scheme works, and try to do that. I think that's actually a pretty cool exercise, because like image files are pretty have like all of this interesting stuff in it, and it's like a type of data that you have to work with all the time for like game assets if you're doing like ML stuff like image training crap. And having like a deeper understanding of that actually would be really cool. I could see there being like value in knowing that. Um, but I think it is like a little bit too off topic. I think it's a little bit too off topic for us right now. Um, so I will, man. Oh God, am I talking myself into writing a PNG decoder? No, I can't. Can't do that. But it would be fun. I think it would be fun. But like that's what like this we would accept the lib here when it is kind of it really is orthogonal to our understanding of video game engine programming, because ultimately like the thing you really want to be knowing is like your asset binary type, and how to be loading that into memory, right? So unfortunately will we will have to not do this right now. Um, yeah. Just like looking around here, any like interesting characters aside from Sean Barrett in here? Hey, look, John J Blow. I think that's the only name I'm recognizing. Yeah, I know this is must be making for really interesting content here. Jacko Dirks. Um, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, so I think we're gonna pull this back in. Um, because yeah, I think the interesting part is going to be of this is learning how a PNG is fully encoded. Um, Implementing the decoder, I think is a lot less interesting because you basically just like need to know the memory layout, right? And then have your fields in the right order is what I'm assuming. Um, if that's not the case, then that would be, it would be interesting. But all right, we are not doing that. We have to make the call. So we're gonna copy slash stb image source. All right, here we go. So we've got this bad boy here, and it's like a fully public domain thing, so we can do whatever we want to it. Just nice. We had it, and this is what we were using to load stuff in previously, right? Um, but it was just something I was not really confident in, like what it was doing, um, enough to understand, and like that. So Charlie was using three of these Sean Barrett libs. He was using this Vorbis one to decode OGG files, which actually we were not. I don't think I ever really made use of. I think you know whenever I had been doing audio, I was doing it sort of my audio format was something totally different. One moment. All right, we'll have to end a little earlier today. That should be good. But yeah, he was using that. He was using this True Type one, which was like a font rendering tool, which also we may have to pull back in because just having looked at it, the whole font rendering thing was kind of a pain in the butt. I really like it was just like this gigantic block of code that I didn't understand, and so that's going to be like at least a day or two of like going back and getting that. Anyway, we need to get back into our code. So what are we doing here? What do we actually need? We have this draw API, right? We have the concept of a sprite that I have here. This is my code. This is modeled off of Randy's code, I believe. And we have the concept of a graphics image, right? And a graphics image has a handle on it and a render target handle. And then, we have some sort of like direct 3D construct that we have for the texture, right? So I think that's like maybe one too many abstractions here to just handle this stupid file. This one sprite atlas file we're trying to draw. So actually, I want to, before we go any further, I would like to just draw a something here, right? Like let's change the canvas size. So make it like 1024, 1024, right? And we will put this guy right at the top. Okay, so that's our thing. And do I have a way of easily like gridding this canvas up? I don't know. Why is there a debugger for this? I don't understand. Let's see. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah. Oh no, that's that yeah, that's that magic thing. Oh, here we go. Screen scaling. Let's see. Background, checkered background. Oh, here we go. Grid. That is exactly what we want. Excellent, excellent. So now we can kind of see what's going on. All right, so we have one, top left here. We'll just do one like that, and we'll do this red one is. Oh, look, I've done something stupid. Oh well. Do like one there, and then one from the middle. Let's do this one. And how about just another, like the teal cyan one right there. Oh, with no alpha. Oh, okay. Crank that right there, and we'll do like a yellow right here. Okay, how about that? That's like pretty much all of the things we want to test. Okay, so let's just see if I'm like dumb or not. That worked. Oh, this is the wrong sprite. Okay, good. We got like Reggie Steele here, so that will be pretty awesome for us. Oh, interesting. Oh, the white. Um, wait, what? All right, who is fucking me right now? I think it's just Sumatra that is rendering this as the background as not transparent, which is kind of annoying. That is really useless, actually. Why would they do that? Why would they make it look like that, bro? Oh god. Why is this or let's see. Background. Main window background. Background color. Oh my god, look, I can set it per thing. How come there's no alpha channel though? Oh god, how irritating. Alright, well that we can't fix that right now. Alright, whatever. We kind of did pretty sure. Oh god. No printing. Okay, we're pretty sure that that's what we want. All right. So let's think here. What are the things that are going to go away? I think this concept of a sprite and a sprite array, I think that's totally extraneous. And we will get rid of that. I'm willing to because basically it was just aliasing a graphics image anyway. So I'm willing to get rid of that. I'm willing to get rid of this for now too, because this enum is not super useful. I think we will just like remove all of the references to it. We're going to really stall on this guy here. All right. So basically, yeah, and it's because like it's gonna be so different. We may as well just blow everything up to make it like kind of more greenfield to go re-implement that stuff. All right. So what do we actually need to do? We need at one like the only thing that we need 100% is to be able to express this image in direct 3D memory. So we need to that's our real constraint. That's what we're writing to. Direct 3D, or we will grok it. How about that? All right, so direct 3D load a PNG and draw that on my quad. How about that? Let's see what Mr. Grok has to say. I really need to mess around with some color stuff on for my stream setup because I can't change my hair color. And it just does not look right on dark mode on dark mode websites. I'll look at that. Is this is like all right, whatever. So what do they do? So they have a yeah, I'm sure they have some sort of texture loader thing. Wick texture. Mm-mm. Shader resource view. So I guess that is what we're actually using. We don't need any of that stuff. Is shader resource view. So what? Explain to me. Explain to the audience. Explain to me what shader resource view is. Maybe it would be better for me to have a little bit of an outline here. But yeah, it's like my hair just like blends right in. All right, so let's see. Here's how the shader is allowed to read it. Right. Okay, that's a little too stupid. So we have some sort of decoding. Then what is a texture 2D? PS set shader resources. Give texture to pixel shader. In the pixel shader, it has the entire thing. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the shader is what is actually reading it. But then what is there why is there a separate so what the hell actually is that? A view into that data. What the fuck does that mean? Render target. Okay. All right, so that would be the format, right? If we read it in, okay. Yeah, so it's just another abstraction layer you need. That's just a little irritating. Okay. All right, I kind of see what it's doing. The Y, also kind of, but it's a little sketchy. All right. So let's see what we were doing here. Yeah. And I think that's not in resize. It's going to be somewhere else. Something completely different. All right. So we have in here was our former graphics image loader. Right. And so what was that doing exactly? So I think this initial data was when we were using STB image, like that was just the raw pointer to it. So also like what format does the texture have to be when making the texture to be because that is a that I don't know. Because like, and again, this is like maybe why it would be valuable to do this image encoding stuff is like I'm not really sure. It has a bunch of image channel. Like kind of vaguely know what like a channel in a PNG is, but not really. There's MIP levels, right? This is like a camera thing, I think. Look, so this is what Charlie was doing. So he's like constructing this, and this channel size is determining the format here. Count quality. So maybe you can like undersample it, I suppose, to if you want to load like a shittier version instead of having separate separate resolution versions of the texture. That's possible, right? This is me grasping here. Bind flags. So he's binding it as a shader resource, but also maybe as a render target, right? Now I'm not quite sure what the difference is. Oh well, some other crap. Yeah, it's just like a lot of stuff. And so, okay, here we go. Oh, the data description also getting in there. I see. Oh, okay, because like this is the like when you strip out the metadata, this should be the image, right? Is the number of pixels times the number of channels times size per pixel, right? Of like, and then like the pitch would be, the stride of this memory. But like ultimately, I think that's what it would be. Yes. All right. So then we feed it into like this magic constructor here, which is fine. So that will turn it into a thing. And then create shader resource view off of the magic thing. Free the STB image memory because we don't need it because it's now in D3D memory. If render target. So this what I would like to know is what is the difference between having it as a render target and a shader resource? R8GAB888 norm linear colors sRGB colors so int okay linear color space. Okay, so I guess that is like on the ASprite end of how we are exporting that. I'd be interested to know what that, oh, what does this do? Export a sprite sheet. Interesting. Um, hmm. World sheet ping. JSON data. Oh, look at that. So we also could have some sort of parser here, or using this for our parsing. By rows, packed, constraints. Actually really interesting. Preview. Alright, grid. Oh, here we go. A10. Alright, we're gonna have to go here in a second, but I'm just kind of curious. Let's see what that looks like. Where in because I think this has like an animation, yeah, but I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I hope that just saved to the same folder. All right, does not look like quite we did that right. Yeah, so before we like go implement that, we should make sure our like asset creation pipeline to kind of make sense. Right. You know, we're not doing that. So and then let's just ask here. Why would I make a texture render target view? When you want to render draw into it instead of just sampling from it. Why would I do that? Off-screen rendering, draw to a texture instead of back buffer. Render scene to texture. Huh. Set the RTV as the current render target and draw to it. Give me some. Let's see, because I'm like a little curious here, right? Okay, so yeah, like I kind of get how sampling from a texture and having like the pixel shader grab that works. That's pretty self-explanatory of why you would do so. Yeah, I don't quite know. Oh, here we go. Render to texture. This is what we're looking for. Uh, as you render your scene to texture resource to adjust the back buffer. Use texture resource in your current scene respect. Okay. So, okay. So this would basically, yeah, right, because you're rendering a whole different scene. Because like I think we just have one RTV as like our main screen. Um, I see. So let's see like what would that look like? And so that's being used to draw like the pastries names. Rendering to the texture. Render the spinning 3D cube model to a render texture first. Render our main scene using three flat 3D planes. What is the render texture? Oh, so it's three different ones. Oh, I see. Uh, I see. Yeah, I think for our purposes, we will we will choose to not implement that. I don't think that that effect is going to be immediately helpful for us. So we will get rid of that. But good to know that that is possible. And again, that's all like very specific. Cleaning up texture loading zone. Yeah, most of my last like couple days of commits have just been like cleaning crap up. Anyway, I think that's like pretty good in building some understanding of like this part of the render pipeline here for today. So that's cool. Join me back here tomorrow where we'll hopefully be doing something more practically interesting. We'll hopefully be doing something around the actual loading again. Um, and we can delve into the modifications that we're going to need to make to get this to work as a uh, sprite atlas or 2D texture array, depending on how we choose to go about it. So thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful, productive rest of your day, and